Okay, all right, and we're live. So, hey guys, I am back with another interview. Um, and so tonight I'm joined by Ashley. So the guest to my right. So thank you very much for joining us. I know you're
Hi.
very busy, but I appreciate you for doing this. So guys, yeah, like I said, the channel is expanding, and I am, sort of changing and stuff. That doesn't mean that certain content is going away or whatever. It's just we're creating more of it. So that being said, like I said, I have a special guest tonight, and yeah. So without further ado, actually, like as is custom on this channel, I always let the guests introduce themselves. So why don't you take a little bit just to introduce yourself really quickly?
Okay. I'm Ashley. I'm from Houston, Texas. I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I have two daughters. Single mom. 17 and 11-year-old.
Wow, 17, 11-year-old. Wow, so okay, so I'm not going to ask your age because I know that's extremely impolite and you don't do
Oh,
that
it
with
doesn't
women.
bother me. It's okay. I'm
No, no,
42.
no. Oh, really? Well, no, I wasn't gonna ask, but I was gonna say, that having heard that you have a 17, having heard that you have a 17-year-old, I'm surprised because you look so freaking young. And especially
Oh,
for your age, you look very young. You look really young.
thank you.
So that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no problem. And so I know you said you have kids, but I think you also have a accent. Am I correct in uh in that assumption? Because like as you were talking, I sort of detected like a hint of like a southern kind of accent, or am I like completely off?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess I don't think I have one until somebody from not this area hears me talk.
There you go. See, yeah, but like for me, it's more subtle, I guess. But yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, again, like I'm from LA, so
Yeah. You can
we have
always
all
tell people
different.
from Texas somehow or another. So,
Exactly. Well, that's great. Well, so I met you on Facebook. And I don't remember which Facebook group it was. It might have been one involving Asian men, Latinas. I think I don't know if you're in one of those groups. I forget. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups.
yeah.
Um, but so yeah, so you and I, we had a little tiny little discussion on Facebook or whatever, and you told me that you had an interest in Asian men. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much yeah, that's true. Pretty much always that's been there.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously we don't judge because this is the type of channel for that kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
um, 100%. And of course, me being from LA, you know what I mean. I've definitely gone out with Latinas before. In fact, I would say the majority of the time. And actually, it's kind of funny because like starting out, I didn't try to what I mean, just like do that on purpose or whatever. It
Yeah.
wasn't intentional. It just always happened like that.
Mhm.
And then I actually also worked at a Spanish language news station in Burbank, California. So yeah, and I also grew up in a primarily Hispanic neighborhood when I was very, very, very young. So so I guess it's just sort of my lot in life. But yeah. So what is your interest in Asian men? Is it like a cultural thing? Is it like a physical thing, or what is it?
Honestly, it's I don't know. It's ever since I was young, it's always been something that attracted me to Asian men. I think it is more of a cultural thing, but they're just so much different than I mean, it's just I don't know. Um I can't really explain it honestly. I mean, my kids always tease me because they say, "Oh, you have some weird fetish." I was like, "It's not a fetish. It's just like I don't, but they're real into like kids today. Like, there's certain things they don't. They're just weird about stuff. I don't know. It's hard to explain. If you had a kid in high school, it'd be like you'd really understand. It's crazy.
Not
So
at all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, I don't have kids, but yeah, I kind of get that mindset. But at the same time, I feel like again, there's definitely nothing wrong with having interest in Asian men. I feel like honestly, I feel like the media and just I guess the world in general sort of has a thing. It's harder for Asian men to sort of step outside their comfort zone or whatever, or just ultimately harder for them to date. Just at all, period. Especially
mm,
in America, which is kind of sad. And from firsthand experience, it is kind of true. Not impossible, but just this is a little it's just, yeah, it's just like a wee bit harder. Um, but so yeah, so anyway, so yeah, another question I had is obviously another thing that we discussed offline was that you have your interracial experiences have not necessarily been with Asian men, right?
not
And so
really. Yeah. I mean, I've had friends that were and stuff, but just I've never really I don't know. I've never really dated an Asian man. I've always been attracted to Asian men. I know that may sound weird, but it's just.
No, no, no.
Oh,
It's
hold on one
again.
sec. I'm getting some kind of.
No, okay.
I was getting some kind of interference or something. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay, still.
Yep. Yeah, we can still hear you.
I
So.
put I put earbuds on because I thought it'd be better, but actually I think it's worse.
Oh, really? No, it's absolutely fine. Can you hear me okay, or is it kind of clipping?
Yeah, it sounds kind of low. I
Okay, hang
probably
on.
should have used the AirPods. I don't know, but
No, no, it's
but
fine.
okay. Where were we at? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So, no, but I just want to say also, I just had a just question, just in general, where you are, right? And I'm assuming that, like, for the most part, like, you've lived most of your life out there in Texas. Am I correct?
Yeah, and I think what it was is probably when I was growing up, because I'm like, was it Gen Y? Like, where I was growing up, there were not a lot of Asian men in my area, honestly. Like when I was in high school, in the area I'm in is kind of rural.
Mhm.
I'm
Right.
on the phone.
Oh,
So it's very I don't know, it's like I'm like more of like from the outskirts of Houston, like in it was like a smaller town. It just
okay.
wasn't very diverse, I guess, like I would want it to have been. It
Mm,
was majority of our school was I think it was mostly African American growing up, and then there was like a couple of Asian families. Like there was maybe two or three Asian families. I'm 42, so like I said, like there's everyone in Houston now, like everyone. It's
mhm,
more of a melting pot now. It's like everybody here now. But like back in the 80s and stuff, though, I really only knew a very few Asian families that I went to school with. I had a friend that was her family owned like a chain of restaurants in the area, and she was like my only like really close Asian friend growing up. There just wasn't that many in my area particularly, but I've
mhm.
always I've always been attracted to Asian men.
Yeah.
And I
No,
don't know where
absolutely.
it came from, but it was just always there.
Well, that's what we like to hear. I mean, so I wish more women would say it. I feel like, so again, like, Asian men are either underexposed, or what I mean. There's a lot of like, stereotypes and negative assumptions about them and stuff like that. And obviously, that's not the case, with
Yeah,
you. It's not the case with you, obviously. But I'm just saying in general, you know what I mean. Even with your, sort of like, lack of exposure to them. Like I said, I definitely do agree that might be part of the problem. Why? Because for me, when I was growing up, you know what I mean. Like, I went up until, like, I would say, like, college, and then I left for college. I went to college out of state. Like, high school, pretty much, like, I spent all my life in California,
hmm
which is where I am again, still to this day. So, it's a melting pot out here. I mean, it's very much, you do see a
yeah.
lot of, yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, Houston pretty much is too, but we have like our certain like areas that are like more diverse than others. And I was in more of like a little small town kind of. It wasn't well, to me it wasn't like really like a country town or anything, but I guess it kind of was, I guess, I don't know. But it was it just wasn't as diverse as like, a couple towns over. Like it's just there just wasn't a lot of I don't want to say there just wasn't a lot of options for me growing up,
Hmm.
so there's just we were just I don't know, not as diverse as I would have preferred it to have been, though.
Yeah.
But I, so I never really, I guess, had the opportunity, I guess, when I was younger to date Asian men, but it's always been something I wanted to do. So, and I'm
So,
old now, I'm grown now, I do what I want.
right. Well, no, absolutely, yeah. So, I was just curious. So, online, like, right, like on Facebook and stuff like that. Have you ever been, like, I want to say, like, approach is the right word. Have you ever been messaged by any guys or anything like that? You know what I mean? Like, sort of like interested in talking to you, or just sort of just like, because, like I said, we met on a
hmm
Facebook group, and usually those Facebook groups are meant for sort of, for networking, and, what I mean, getting in touch with people, meeting new people. Have you ever had that kind of encounter or experience with anyone on there before?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've met people on Facebook before. Usually though, it's never been more of like a friendship though. I've never
Mm,
really. ended up getting any kind of relationship or anything from anybody off of Facebook. But it's funny because I met my youngest child's father on MySpace. I don't know if you remember the MySpace days. It's funny, but I've never. I don't know. It's like I've nothing ever went anywhere for me with anyone online. I guess
Hmm.
um, I would, we'd always lose contact somehow or something. But lately I just that's like the easiest way to meet people. So I
Hmm.
mean, I've been trying to interact, especially since I've been single, with interact more with people. So.
All right, and I just had a question really quickly, and yeah, I will let you go very soon, I promise. But I just had a quick question. Like so, again, like this is not. Don't take this the wrong way. It's not passing judgment or anything like that, or anything like that. It's just out of curiosity. As a single mother, do you
Mhm.
find that dating is different for you? Is it a little bit harder? Do people sort of react to that a little bit differently, or?
Um, well, I mean, my kids are older now, so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they are very opinionated, though, of course.
Mm.
Especially because I have girls. So,
Mm.
like, I mean, it's funny because my youngest, like, I have a couple of like dating websites, and she'll sit there and like swipe people for me, like, nope, nope, and but she's 11, she's almost 12, so she's real opinionated. But they honestly just want someone that treats me nice because I was in an abusive relationship for 11 years.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and it was more of a like mental verbal kind of thing, but
Mm.
it was really rough, and they saw that, and it's like they just really wanted me to find somebody nice and that will respect me and treat me right. So
Right.
so
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
so I mean, I'm sure that they're fine with me dating. It's just I've only been out of this relationship for maybe a year and a half.
Mm.
So it's kind of hard to get into it after you've been with somebody for so long. So,
Yeah. So what's that like? Like for you, do you find yourself now, like, with dating now, like do you find that you are a little bit what to say, not as quick out the gate basically? Like you're a little bit hesitant, you kinda like to take your time a little bit more. Any sort of any like that?
I know I'm a lot pickier than I used to be because I would say mostly because both of my kids, their fathers, I don't think I really got to know them very well.
Mm,
Like it was a very quick relationship. Like one of them I met and we were together like I mean for 3 years after knowing each other for like a month.
mm,
And it was almost the same thing with the other kid's dad. It was very quick. Like I never got time to sit there and learn much about them, or I mean, we didn't really get to know each other properly, I don't think. So it's like now I'm like really taking my time with people, and
mm.
plus, I mean, being a mother of daughters, I have to be careful of like everything. So, well,
Right,
just with
right,
kids in
absolutely.
general, not even necessarily just girls, just in general. And so I'm a lot pickier than I used to be, definitely. I'm more aware. I look for like red flags that I didn't look for before in people,
Hmm.
so I'm definitely coming into this with a lot more experience than I did with my 20s, so but I have not been single probably since I was like right out of high school. So
Oh wow. Wow, that
yeah.
is, yeah.
So it's been something. I'm a lifer. I'm kind of a long-term relationship kind of person. So yeah. So it's very new. It's kind of fun though, but it's different.
Hang on, hang on. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're back. Never mind. Technical difficulties, really quickly. Sorry. So, okay. So, yeah, just one last thing. Again,
Mhm.
thank you very much for dedicating your time, to us. And so um, I guess like relationship wise, right? Like, how would you want your next, let's say like however soon or however whenever it would happen. What are things that you would want, right, for yourself that now that you're more experienced.
Um I mean, and honestly, it's
What
just,
are in like a partnership or whatever?
well, it's always been important to me for to develop like a good solid friendship with somebody beforehand. You know, I
Mm,
mean, I'm one of those people that, I mean, it's like, if, to me, I think friendship is the most important thing in a relationship. You know, I have to be able to get along with a person. Just really need to get to, I guess, it's hard to say, like, really fill out the person, get to know them before I jump into anything. So I'm just really kind of taking everything really slow. And it's like I'm getting older now, so it's like I think I have a right to be selective. You know, it's like
mm.
I'm not getting any younger, so, and hopefully the next person I'm in a relationship with, that's it, you know. So, I don't know. It's
Okay. Um. Well, yeah. So you just I get like sorry, just uh, um, so sorry. So yeah, part of the reason why sorry, let me start over. So this channel, ultimately it's called AMXF. We,
mhm.
cover, basically, since I'm an Asian guy, we cover, dating experiences involving Asian men and interracial dating and stuff like that. And so I know from I mean, obviously, I don't mind, I'm very open minded as well. But I have gone out with Hispanic women before, and I know that there's a lot of Asian guys that are curious about that as well. But I have talked to a majority of women, on here and offline as well, and they told me that their experience with Asian guys is that they like them and they're interested in them, but the Asian guys are way too fucking shy, right? Like they're just very, very like, either just unaware of how they should approach non-Asian women, if there's such a thing as the right approach or whatever, or anything like that. Like they're just very, very shy. Um, and so,
Sorry.
oh no, no, that's fine. But what would your advice be to what I mean, like shy Asian dudes who are like, what I mean, or like shy Asian guys who are curious about dating Hispanic women or white or black or Native American whatever, but are just maybe just really, really shy and not sure if if that interest would be returned or reciprocated. Like, what would your advice be?
Honestly, be yourself. I mean, I'm just kind of a very extroverted person by nature. So, like, I usually have no problems making the first move. So, shy is not a problem for me. But, um, honestly, just, there's no reason to be shy, I don't think, especially as an adult. I mean, we're all adults. Um, it's like if you don't take chances, you'll never know what you miss out on, and, I think I missed out on a lot when I was in my 20s and stuff because I used to always wait for a guy to make the first move, and like now, I don't do that. I'm very extroverted. I don't mind sparking up conversations with strangers. I mean, um, it's just very important that you're full disclosure, be yourself. You know. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, there's no reason to be scared. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, I was kind of the same way. I didn't know how to approach because honestly, I never really thought like when I was growing up, I never like I said, we always had very few Asian men, but I never really found one that was like I guess attracted to me. But I don't know if it was kind of more of that too. They didn't want to approach me, so I don't know.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I just the older I get, I just have realized there's no reason to fear that. I mean, you're gonna take risks, you're gonna take chances and everything, but you just gotta do it. You know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I sort of realized that too. Like I'm well, full disclosure, I'm 34, so
Mhm.
and I'm getting the whole like talk of from my parents like you're not getting any younger or anything like that. You're getting older, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit kind of like but at the same time like they're right, right? Like we are all maturing, we're all getting older, and life speeds up. So I definitely agree with you. I will say that extra thing that there's no use on walking on eggshells because it's kind of like things are going to happen regardless of or
Of
not happen
course.
regardless of whatever you do or think whatever's in your mind, you just have to go for it. So but that being said, I'm gonna let you go, but thank you very much, Ashley, for your time. We
Well, you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. This is a great interview, and Also, really quickly, I like to do this a lot of my guests. Are you, if anyone's interested in following you on social media, would you be opposed to that? And if you are, where can people follow you at?
Oh, on social media? I mean, not really. I don't have any kind of like channels or anything like that. But I mean, I'm on like Facebook, Instagram, everything, but I don't like really post that much, I guess.
Okay.
So, I
Well, you know,
mean, I have everything, Snap, all that stuff. I'm just not online as much as I mean, as much as I would be probably if I was maybe like 10 years younger, but um so following me, no. I mean, I don't mind if people follow me, but I can't really think of you know, any reason to. I mean,
no, no, it's all good. It's okay. You know what? It's all good. So, it's okay. It's all good. No pressure. But anyway, so guys, that will mark the end of this interview. Stick around because in about an hour or so, I have another event coming up. But again, thank you to our guest Ashlee. Everyone, if you made it to the end of this video, yay, good job. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Watch all my content, everything like that. There's more coming. And so, but yeah, so like, so sub to sub. Anyway, thank you very much, Ashlee. Thank you everyone for watching, and good night.
thank you. Good night.